Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the 54th, I think, episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast.
Honestly, it's probably like 56 because there's been a couple, maybe 57. There's been a lot of episodes, honestly, along the way that never got put out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of backlogged content, a lot of content that we recorded, but just our system fucked us out of it.
Yeah. Shit that just never found its way in a full episode. And
we've got several segments. Remember when we watched...
halfway?
Remember when we watched the Bob Lazar's like UFO thing? He was talking about aliens and stuff, and how he found how he was in a possession of an element.
That was crazy.
And we recorded like a 15-minute segment on it. That is, I don't know. I probably still have it somewhere, but seriously? It's not in any episode yet.
I would want to listen to that, honestly, because I need a refresher on on that documentary because I remember that shit being fucking wild.
Yeah, that shit was crazy for sure.
I'm glad we're at the point where we're like, damn, hardly remember even watching and recording an entire episode over that.
I mean, for real though. And by the way, there's
the blonde episode too.
This is episode 54.
Oh yeah. Well, on paper. You remember the blonde episode though?
Oh, bro.
Yeah, no, someone. The dude who I met, his name was Fletcher. He who like I didn't know that I'd listened. He mentioned something about the blonde episode. I can't remember what it was. Due to circumstances, but I remember he was saying something about, man, it would have been great to hear all of it or something like that.
Yeah, because I can't remember what happened.
I remember halfway through it stopped recording, and did we think we recorded a whole segment and published it, and then it was only half
I'm trying to
segment?
remember exactly what happened in that situation because, again, circumstances. I'm thinking. Wait, was the blonde one the one we recorded remotely?
No, we were at Jewel.
We were at Jewel. Was it a live commentary of Blonde?
Yeah, Kenton was there, I think.
Yes, he was.
The live commentary. That's what it was. Yeah.
None of that got put out.
Okay.
None of that got put out.
Okay.
So yeah, we did an entire Blonde commentary, and I can't remember what the fuck happened. Why did that not work? I think I
don't remember. Something. Just at one point we realized like, oh, we haven't been being recorded.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you guys know we're good at this.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
We've done a lot of podcasting. I mean, 54 episodes.
Yeah, no,
that's at least 54 hours of speaking.
Yeah, no. What's weird is like, so like at first when we started doing it, like I wouldn't like always like mention around people because I'm like, oh, like we're just getting started, and then
now we have over 50 backlogged episodes. 50,
yeah, and like we have a
very wide variety of a catalog you can choose from.
Yeah. But it's just like even more so now, like I honestly forget to mention to people that I have a podcast.
It's just so second nature at this point.
It is, honestly. And so people are like, you have a podcast? And I'm like, have I? Yeah, we have 50 episodes. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like we've been doing this shit, okay? It's been like a year and a half now, which is wild.
A year and a half? It feels like longer, honestly. I feel like we started right out of high school.
It was actually we started it like a year after high school. It was like May 2019. It was
May 2019 at the end of freshman year.
Yeah, but it does feel like it's been 5 years since then because of March of 2020. Really, if we want to be real, that month was just non-ending.
Yeah, that was
what a time.
A doozy. April too, March and April.
Yeah, I mean just the first few months of quarantine before people decided to ignore it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's becoming second nature too. I'm just like, will we ever stop wearing masks?
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know that I want to.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean,
I feel like the world would be a healthier place.
My thing is like this will have an effect on me for a while because I look at like pictures of crowds now and I go, why was I ever in a crowd?
Yeah.
There are so many people bumping up against each other here. They're talking. Germs everywhere.
Germs everywhere.
I've never been a germaphobe, but I'm like it's not even necessarily the sickness thing that scares me. It's just you don't know where people have been.
Yeah, no, you don't. And it's like also like if you're trying to avoid facial recognition and shit, and the NSA and the cameras and surveillance and the government, wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I'm walking down the street with a hat on, a mask on, and sunglasses. You're not going to recognize me. Not in the slightest.
Nope. Also, when it's cold outside.
That's very, very helpful.
Like,
you have a source of warmth on your face.
Right. I've already thought about how, like, helpful it's going to be for me to just be able to throw up my hood, have a mask on, and just, like, be that much more protected against the wind or the cold.
Well, I've been taking walks every morning lately, and as of the last couple of days, it's been fucking cold.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've been taking walks.
Well, yeah, but you know why?
Why?
It's a lot warmer because I've got that fucking mask on my face.
Yeah, you keep taking your precautions.
It's very nice. It's very. I enjoy the walk because I'm not cold.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking face warmer on my face.
I don't see any downsides to wearing a mask.
I don't either.
The Penny Bloom Podcast, Mask Edition.
Oh, Jesus.
Should we put on our masks?
I have one that says compost the rich.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. I've also I've got a tie-dye one, which is cool. Got one. My grandma made that one. That's it's like a school teacher one.
Yeah,
it's got like different
really
letters.
And
it's a big mask. I don't wear it often.
I'm like, would it even like?
It kind of really drops loose down your face a little bit yeah. when you put it on, but
she didn't get your facial measurements before.
Nah. But you know, I appreciate the thoughts. What counts?
This would be the mask. That would be the mask that I like pin up on the walls.
Yeah, it's like commemorating.
Like, I pin up my mask because every time I leave, I have to grab it.
Yeah.
I did that in my room, and then I realized, like there was a mask that just stayed there, and then there was a mask that I actually used.
Yeah. Yeah, I leave all my masks in the car most of the time.
Yo, I lost one yesterday, and it fucked me up. I don't know how it happened. Like, I had it, and then I didn't. It was just gone.
Man.
Like, from the time...
Houdini style.
I took it off when I got to my car, and from the time that I got in my car, drove where I went, and opened the door to grab my mask again, I realized it was gone. It was just gone. I was like...
What the... Wow. What a world we live in.
What a world.
Because, like, here's the thing. Someone may have stolen your mask. What's the point of stealing masks? That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked. I don't have any... Like, I've, like, even kind of been in situations where other people have been like, oh, just borrow mine. I'm like, I don't think I want to do
that. That kind of defeats the fact that...
I'm not going to borrow your mask.
That's like me just, like, kissing you.
Yeah.
Are they gonna kiss? Have you seen those? Two guys recording a podcast. Are they gonna kiss? No, it's a TikTok trend. It's usually not two guys doing a podcast, but we are two guys doing a podcast, and I use that as an example. I was gonna say
that's an oddly specific trend.
Oh no, it's usually like someone ambushes the other person with it. It's like so and so together. Are they going to kiss? Usually the other person will probably be like, no. Well, maybe. Oh, well. We've got a good show, yeah. I think. We watched...
none of this stuff, unrelated to all of this.
All of it. We're talking about a movie called On the Rocks, an Apple TV Plus original, which I did not realize I was subscribed to.
Yeah.
It's not under the subscriptions in my
we gotta
Apple
go
ID.
Through there and see what movies they got.
Oh, yeah, we'll be watching the shit out of those. So we'll be talking about On the Rocks, starring Rashida Jones and Bill Murray, directed and written by Sofia Coppola. And then we're going to talk about some music, just what we've been listening to.
We haven't done music in a while.
We haven't done music in a while. And there's been plenty of new stuff, but we're not going to limit it to new stuff.
No.
Just what the fuck have you been listening to, you know?
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. We'll decide later.
You know, we're still getting in the swing of it.
Yeah. Enjoy this. Love you. Roll the tape.
Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dads, listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed in now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Quick disclaimer for the segment you're about to hear for On the Rocks. If you have not watched it and you have interest in watching it, I wouldn't suggest listening to this segment because we spoil it. We spoil it. But if you do not have interest in watching it or you do not have Apple TV Plus, I strongly recommend you still listen because it was a very fun conversation.
Yeah, we get into a lot of deep concepts.
A lot of
that's the Penny Bloom podcast.
Yeah, a lot of commentary on gender and the patriarchal society we live in.
Dabble in sexuality a
little bit.
A little bit about the id, the ego,
the unself. Yeah. You will know what that means here in a little bit, or maybe you won't. I don't know. We didn't really come to a conclusion. Enjoy the segment about On the Rocks. So, let's talk On the Rocks, starring Rashida Jones, Bill Murray, directed and written by Sofia Coppola. You want to give me a little rundown of this movie? Like, what happens, basic premise?
Yeah, I mean, so, like, if you've ever seen the trailer before it came out and thought, Bill Murray and that girl from The Office, Rashida Jones, who you should know by name, but unfortunately most people don't. Anyways, yeah, you'd see them and you'd be like, oh, this seems interesting, and that's pretty much what it amounted to for me. It's essentially a story about the fantasization of an affair of an upstanding black man, as it turns out.
Yeah, as it turns out, one of the better men on television I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. Like, you're like, is Marlon Wayans gonna be like a fuck up? And nope, turns out he's all right. But like, it's just kind of a journey through Rashida Jones's relationship with Bill Murray, their characters, of course, who are father and daughter, essentially trying to find out if Marlon Wayans is cheating. And yeah, what's crazy and like what should tell you something about this movie is the fact that I don't really remember the characters' names so much as the actors' names.
Yeah, me either.
And for a lot of the movie, it feels like freestyling. It
really does, and that is important because I don't really remember the characters' names either. We just watched this movie, mind you. We just watched it. I don't really remember the characters' names either, and the reason is we don't really get to know the characters. We just follow this story, the story of a woman played by Rashida Jones who is feeling more and more insecure because her husband is focusing on his job instead of on anything. Like, and rightfully so, I think. Right. She felt like he wasn't paying attention, and he wasn't. He was really focused on his job, and obviously we get explanations for that as well. And but just most of the time, we're focused on her trying to find out.
Yeah,
we're not focused on who she is, who the other guy, who her husband is, or who her father is, which actually ends up being the whole point of the movie.
Right. And so the movie starts with this line. Like, you're mine. It's Bill Murray's voice saying, "You're mine until you're married, and then even then, you're still mine."
And Rashida Jones, or a young version of her, would say, "Okay, like okay, that sounds cool."
Like, okay, Dad, sure, whatever. But
that ultimately ends up being like the most important line. That, like, you need to frame your entire viewing of this movie with that quote.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this movie is definitely trying to get at some ideas of just like what it means, like how marriage implies the ideas of property, and how fatherhood implies the ideas of property. Just how, like, which it leads me to the conclusion that this is ultimately a movie about womanhood itself.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, for sure.
Because, I mean, like, it's pretty specific. Who else is going to be a daughter and a wife?
Yeah, I mean, it's built in. Yeah. It's the job description.
The job description. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I feel pretty conflicted watching the movie at many points because, and not conflicted, I know for a fact Bill Murray's not a great dude.
Right.
I know that consciously. But every once in a while, they made this such a big part of the movie was that he gets away with shit.
Mm-hmm.
He gets away with acting like a total piece of shit because he's smooth as fuck. Mm-hmm. That man could talk his way out of anything. Yeah. And they literally implemented a scene where he gets pulled over for that reason. to show that, like, no matter how blatantly this guy fucks up, he is able to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. And like that kind of just made me think so there's a part where he literally like has these cops push his car off from the traffic stop where he was going to get pulled over, and instead of actually getting ticketed or anything for his reckless driving, he points out that he knows the cop's dad and his granddad. And he says, well, I'm going to need to push off from this police stop, and just kind of dismisses himself. And you know what the cops do? They push this old white man off.
They push him away, even though this man was recklessly driving.
Very recklessly driving. Like, I thought he was drunk or something.
I thought so, too.
And Colton literally made the comment, is he fucking senile? Like,
there were so many points in this movie where I'm like, sometimes this guy just keeps, like, rambling and talking, and then he does that, where he's just driving like a fucking maniac for no reason. There wasn't a reason for that. You weren't that far behind the taxi. What the fuck are we doing here? And
the only justification I can think that he gives himself is that, you know, I am in control of my world.
Yeah, he's in control of his world. He also prides himself on this wild lifestyle, but he's only able to lead that wild lifestyle because of who he is, you know?
Right, exactly. You know, that's what whiteness is, essentially. Like, like, this is, I think I've told you this before, like, we, when I was on a debate trip in Atlanta, we were running this race argument. I mean, we're still running race arguments, but it was a different one. And, like, we just were talking about it one time with our coach at dinner, and we just like got down the formulation to being like, you know what, we're going through all these hoops trying to explain the highly complex theories of how whiteness operates in society, when really it doesn't go further than I'm white, that's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the history of whiteness, and he embodied that very well.
Very well.
Everything, the way that he would interact with
the sheer entitlement.
Yeah.
The coming on to women every single time he came into contact with a woman.
Even his own daughter.
Time. A little bit even with his own daughter.
No, definitely his own daughter. Like, think about every time that he showed up, it was, I'm here, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Like, you are mine. And there's like these very explicit ideas of property. He even
brings it up. When he talks about the idea of a bangle, a bracelet, he's talking about how men would give those to their women to indicate that they were their property.
Right.
And like we at the beginning of the movie, we go, okay, this guy's fucking around. Even though that might have been rooted in truth, I thought he was making jokes.
Yeah.
And then like the further you get into the movie, you realize, oh no, that's how this guy thinks.
Yeah. It's a huge motif. And like he tells these stories of just like the natural essence of humans, you know, the natural state of being for the mammals that evolved to walk on two legs. These sort of like, you know, fantastical tales about the caveman and mating and all of this. And one line, Rashida Jones's character just kind of dismisses all of that around the end of the movie, just being like, you have self-control. Like, you're not a fucking...
You are not a product of sheer evolution.
Yeah.
Like, that's not all that has created you. You do have control over your actions.
Yeah.
Just because you're a pig doesn't mean you evolved into a pig, you know?
But, like...
That was his argument the entire movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Was that, like, I'm sorry, this is how men are wired.
Yeah, this is how men are. And which is another really interesting point of the movie, too, because it was Bill Murray was very unforgiving in his assessment of his own condition. Like, you know, when she asked him, like, would you have done it again when, in terms of, like, when he had cheated on his wife in the past, her mother, and he's just kind of like...
He says it was heartbreaking for everybody. Yeah. But the way he looks at her, you know, he's like, but I'd do it again.
Like
that was the choice I made in that moment, and there's a reason that was the choice I made.
And so, like, I feel like this leads him to think that he knows the Marlon Wayans. Like, he understands.
He thinks he is him.
He's like, I know exactly what he's thinking.
And that's what's important, too, is that because his beliefs are this is how men have evolved, men are pigs, because he doesn't want to take responsibility for his actions, he forces himself to believe that all men would do the same things he did.
Yeah.
To avoid taking responsibility for those things.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's weird because this idea or this conception of property within the movie is never really completely resolved, I feel like, because of the last scene.
Yeah.
Wherein she receives another one of those sort of emblems of property.
Yeah. Like, well, they did make that explicit point to mention it early on in the movie with Bill Murray's line saying that the Bengals represent property. He gives her a watch.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, she takes off his watch to put on the watch Marlon Wayans is giving her.
Right.
To indicate, like, I also think that's to indicate that, because this comes after the evolutionary conversation, the one where he's like, you are responsible for your actions. You are not just a product of evolution.
Yeah.
You know? I think because of that scene coming before him gifting her the watch, it makes it mean less. It's just kind of like, I'm just putting on a watch now. You know, like I think that was the vision there. I don't know. I think it's more like I don't have to feel like he owns me.
Well, that's the thing where I feel like we can start to get into some critiques of this movie, because like it was fairly simplistic in the way that it portrayed this entire sort of scenario. You know, it's like he's suddenly going to Mexico and he didn't tell you until the last minute. So what do? Well, you go to Mexico and you just end up there the next scene.
See, but that's
and that happens multiple times.
I think, I think
there
that was
a point
purposeful
where it was confusing, where it skipped around. Like from the time she went to her mom's house to got back, like we were just like, well, that was a whole like one scene on this trip to, and then that's when I realized these trips were going to happen like pretty much scene after scene, because Marlon Wayans' character would be gone
moving
and
around,
come back and be gone and come back.
Well, and I think it was purposeful to feel like you were being pushed around, you know, to feel like you were being forced into situations, or not forced into situations, but like scenes felt like they were forcibly pushed on to the next. You know, it was like, oh, we're already somewhere, and because that's probably how she felt with her dad. You know, her dad was like, we're going to Florida, or we're going to Mexico, pack it up, we're leaving, and then she tried to say no, and then by the end of it, because of the way he is, she's in Mexico.
She's just there.
And like the entire time I was watching that movie, I'm like, fuck. We're just like, we're just going to keep following this guy?
Gonna keep
this guy
around.
could not be more clearly in the wrong.
Yeah.
But like, he's so good at convincing her he's not. Like, that's his entire...
Yeah, and I mean,
that's
he's
his entire
her
personality.
father, so like he has a certain amount of influence over her that leads her to ultimately be okay with doing these things, and even after, you know, their entire blow up, like still being cool.
Yeah, that was also a very interesting part of the movie. The very last scene when not the very last scene, but before they go to dinner, Bill Murray pulls up outside just like he had been throughout the movie and whistled to her. She whistled back, which was cute. They figured that out.
Yeah.
But they were just cool. He asks if she wants to go somewhere. She says no. And I think the part was weird to me was that he was like, you have your own adventure now.
Yeah.
And I was like, so is this him saying, I am the way I am, you are the way you are, I recognize that my lifestyle is different and that I need to do something about it? Or is it like, I'm going to keep living the way I live, and I understand you have to go a different direction?
Well, see, that's the thing, is I don't feel like anything pivotal enough happened to cause like a massive change in a character's outlook.
You're right, because even when she did say the stuff about how you have to take responsibility for your actions and how you are not a product of evolution, he just says, you used to be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to fucking vomit.
Yeah, no, that's not necessarily what you would say in that situation.
Absolutely fucking.
But like that's it. That's why this movie, I think, is it's kind of reductionist in its portrayal of a complex relationship, because like it does have the elements of complexity there about just like not being sure of just like the dialogue is still like interesting and compelling and everything, but like in terms of like what it all amounts to in the end is well, damn, I didn't know that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, it's like I told you this when the movie ended. Like as soon as they had Marlon Wayans and Rashida Jones have their conversation at the end of the movie, where she's like, I feel like I've been on the back burner to you. You've been so focused on work. I feel like I'm boring. I can't write. I'm not myself. Da 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 da. You know. And then he's like, "Well, I've only been working because I'm trying to impress you. I'm trying to be good enough for you. I'm trying to be good enough for our children."
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this conversation happens at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
None of this happens. And see, like,
none of it.
and I think that was kind of the point of it. Was like, in terms of the portrayal of the relationship, was to make it seem like, oh no, like. There seem to be all these complexities, but it's like, just talk to your partner, dude.
That's it.
just talk to them.
That's all you have to do. Like, literally it. Also, I thought it was interesting how, like, you are almost led into liking Bill Murray's character outright because of just, like, the fact that he cares about her suspicions.
He does.
And you're just like, oh, he's about it. Like, he's trying to, like, protect her and stuff. But, like, that's, like, this false savior complex.
Exactly.
Because,
and I mentioned this when we were watching it as well. Every time he says something that could be damning, he goes, maybe it's nothing, but so as to portray that I'm on your side in all of this.
Yeah.
I don't want this to happen, but I'm going to keep planting these seeds of doubt in your mind.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're mine now and even after you're married.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I had to look up midway through whether or not this movie was written or directed by a woman or a man, because like that distinctly sort of changes, I think, the
connotation of the
movie. Yeah, because like you just have to think about the author's perspective, like like what, like.
And I don't want to say that like a man couldn't have wrote this and been like trying to make a good point about it, but like coming from a man, this would seem a little more like, I don't know how to explain it.
Like it would be as if like the woman's suspicions are always futile. Like, yeah,
exactly.
They think we're all cheaters, and they think their dads are they don't understand. But really, if they would just be logical about things, they would be able to solve these problems.
That probably would be the more that you actually exactly put it into words what the connotation would have been if it was written and directed by a man.
Yeah, no, because men are weird. I'm coming around to that more.
Oh, men are trash. Like I don't have any beef with people saying that, because I saw this tweet a few weeks ago that was like, men are trash is rooted in the fact that men treat women like shit and have for all of time.
Yeah.
Women are trash comes from the fact that boy can't get girlfriend.
Yeah, generally.
Like that's generally how it goes. So it's like just be more respectful of people, man.
Yeah, well, it's just I don't know. Just it's weird though, because like even you can tell just in everyday dialogue with like a guy versus a woman, like it's just fundamentally starting on two different levels.
Well, it's kind of how it is with any two people, though.
I don't think so. Not always.
Well, yeah, not always. Because, but like, some people you are on the same wavelength with, but like,
it's almost as if like they're. I don't know. It's like it's hard to explain, but like there is a recognition that you were talking to a man, and thus other certain things are more acceptable to say.
Yeah, and I guess that's. I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't know how to. I mean, you're right.
My point is, men are weird.
Yeah, men are weird.
Which would have been immensely weirder if a man had written this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but Sofia Coppola wrote and directed this movie.
She did. She did a great job. I think it wasn't.
Oh, and it was beautifully shot, dude.
It
like
was.
I love.
Yeah,
there were so many shots in this. I was like, this is actually a beautiful movie for its mostly simplicity. Yeah.
It seemed pretty just like straightforward. I don't think that there was like a ton of like room for critical acclaim per se. I think it was just a good movie, like solid.
Yeah.
It was fresh and it was compelling.
I'd certainly never seen a movie where like the entire storyline is trying to figure out whether or not someone is cheating, and you don't definitively know whether or not that's the case. Because for a lot of the movie, I mean, that's part of the point of Bill Murray's character, is to convince you that Marlon Wayans is having an affair.
Right.
And for most of the movie, I was operating under this assumption that, like, okay, he's probably having an affair, but I'm going to try and kind of give him the benefit of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was also part of the point. Maybe maybe she was trying to get you to be like, uh-oh, be suspicious. I mean, because if we're not suspicious that whole movie, then what are the stakes? You know? She kind of has to make it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because that was the point of the movie. If it wasn't, then you can get away with something else. But
right.
Because the entire movie was about figuring out whether or not he was having an affair.
And yeah, it wasn't quite a Lifetime movie either. You know, maybe Lifetime movies are kind of about that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But also, Lifetime movies are so fucking formulaic that they don't even deserve distinction. Lifetime movies are just one movie.
All of them are the same.
Like, and I've watched
I've watched plenty of Lifetime movies.
Watched a lot of Lifetime movies. I used to watch those.
I mean, my grandma would like babysit us when I was little, and she was always watching Lifetime movies, man.
Yeah. My mom would watch them a lot, and just like I remember weekends, like not doing shit at the house, just watching Lifetime, and like the movies were good.
That's the thing.
They're fucking
they
interesting.
draw you in.
They're the
ones. They are the movies people talk about when they go, I don't know, I turned it on and then it was over. And and I was like, oh, I just watched that whole fucking movie.
Yeah. No, like literally, and then another one would come on right after, and you'd be like, round 2.
Round 2. Fight.
And I'd be like, I don't know, seemed pretty similar to the last one, but yeah, just different enough to be interesting.
This woman is pregnant with 6 children.
Oh my God. Her husband is a fucking douchebag.
Will she leave him?
Oh my God, somebody died. Now the police are involved.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
All the same. But On the Rocks, not quite that.
No, and I appreciated that.
It's
very well easily could have turned into that.
I never really knew where it was headed, and I like that in a movie when I can't really predict what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. I remember I made a prediction very early on in this movie that Marlon Wayans was actually gay. I was wildly wrong.
You did say that.
Yeah. I was like, that bag he found in that bag she found in his luggage. I mean, like, how do you accidentally put that there? That's obviously purposefully been put in the bag. And his excuse was solid. The whole, like, she didn't have room for it in her carry-on. I put it in my luggage. Turns out, very true. I'm guessing. And but
they never
before we got that explanation, I was like, oh, that's his bag, and that's his body oil.
See, he thought you were someone else because you weren't a man.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, that was it was a good movie though. Definitely
worth the watch.
Worth the watch for sure. I was excited to watch that.
I love Bill Murray and I love Rashida Jones.
Right.
And there were a couple people who showed up throughout that movie that I really liked. Like Jenny Slate made a couple of recurring appearances where she's venting her entire life to Rashida Jones, and then at the end she's like, "I don't have time for your issues, okay?" Like not to Rashida Jones, but like talking about whatever she's been talking about throughout the entire movie.
Whatever. Like, and I'm just like,
I zoned out every time she was talking, bro. I don't. The only time I really paid attention was when she was like, "Turns out he's married and has a family."
Like when you get naked with someone and you're just like laying together naked, like
you think it would come up that I have a wife and kids.
She truly doesn't know how men think.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
It's funny to me sometimes when like, yeah, well, it's not funny necessarily, but like, there's just certain like prototype characters based off of people, you know, you do encounter in real life who just are you look at these characters and you go, fuck. That is a real person. And I've met them. Yes. Yeah, you're just like, they're very, very oblivious. And, you just know, their life is probably... so unself-aware. Yeah. Yeah, right. Self-unaware? Unself-aware? Self-aware? Self-unawareness? Self-aware? I feel like
You can't say unself.
Unself-aware. Yeah, well, you can't because of the dash. Undash self-aware. Unself. You can't unself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be self-unaware.
Yeah, there's no.
But
such thing
that
as
doesn't
the
sound
unself.
fine.
Yeah, that would be a cool line of research.
I mean, it probably just takes a quick Google.
No, but like the unself isn't like the negated self. It's a version of self that peels back the layers of itself like an onion until it's no more, until it's unselfed itself.
We're getting deep here, man. This is intense.
Yeah.
All of it's gone.
The self.
You've unselfed. So all these people have just...
Can you reself? Okay, topic for a different segment.
Yeah, I suppose. But On the Rocks was a solid movie. We recommend it. We're probably going to have to go back and put a little disclaimer at the beginning of the segment, be like, yo, we spoiled the shit out of this movie if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I kind of got into it. And then
like immediately. You jumped in with, turns out Marlon Wayans isn't a bad guy, so I was like, all right, we're gonna have to spoil the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, I figured it would make the conversation.
It made it better. It certainly
did.
I wanted
to talk about what the details.
Like, because there was a lot of actual like commentary in that movie, which was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But next, let's talk about some music.
Sounds good.
So let's talk the music we've been listening to.
El Musico.
La Musica.
Yeah, I just kind of came up with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're close.
Yeah, I was thinking about the implications of how I changed it, which was to make it a masculine.
A masculine version.
Yeah.
And after our conversation, maybe you have things to think about, Tavarus.
No, but this is why I said men are fucking weird, and like I'm not excluded.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure.
It's because it's hardwired. It's like
it's evolution. If you did listen to the conversation we just had, you know that was fucking funny. Okay.
No, but that brings an extra layer of complexity to that conversation.
It really does. It really does. Oh my god. Okay, so the way we decided to talk about the music we're into lately is we each picked 7 songs. We're going to go through them one by one. I pick one, he picks one, I pick one, he picks one. We're just going to talk about them for a second, what we like about them, who they're by, shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
You down for it?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for letting me in on what the segment's about.
No problem, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're in the loop now.
Yeah, thanks.
So we'll start with my song. It's called Goodbye to a World by Porter Robinson. And I think this shit is lovely. It's got a lot of synths, which, as I've told you, that's about all you need to tell me for me to be all the way in on music lately.
Since Stranger Things,
yes,
came out, I remember.
I will eat synths up.
Yeah, and man, Stranger Things. We've talked about this before too, but Stranger Things coming out was a fucking moment because of the synths just put up like. I don't know. I didn't have any sort of like cultural attachment to anything with synths in it until Stranger Things.
And every time I hear synths now, I do think of Stranger Things. Yeah. But I fucking love Stranger Things. So I don't have, and it's not even because of the show itself necessarily. It is because of the vibes the show produces. You know, it is very. It feels synthy. You know, I don't know how to explain it.
It feels very.
It has those
synthy.
Positive like. It has this vibe. It has the goodbye to a World by Porter Robinson vibe.
Goodbye to a World, yeah. And it's like also the title is Goodbye to a World.
And if you're on TikTok, you've almost certainly heard this song with the Among Us TikToker who acts like the different, I don't know, little bean men.
Have you played Among Us?
I've tried.
I can't get into it.
I mean, I played Mafia. You know, and that's basically what it is. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not a huge video game person
Me
anyway.
either.
It's like, and if I am playing a video game, it's story driven.
It's story driven, yeah. No. Exactly.
So it's like I'm not huge into just online. Like I'll play Star Wars Battlefront, but that's because I fucking love Star Wars.
Yeah, right. You
I have no connection to these little bean men.
Few ones like this. I don't know. Like the idea of just like because like I was somewhere once and they just kind of. Everyone's like, oh, let's play Among Us or whatever, and so I opened it up, and like everyone's just kind of sitting there on their phones, and I'm like, I'm moving this dude around, and I'm like,
Oh shit! I just got cut in half.
Well, that didn't even happen. Nothing was happening to me. I was just like, I'm bored. Like, I don't. Like, they're like, do your tasks, and I'm like, I don't fucking want to.
It's like, man, this is I didn't sign up for this shit to do random electrician things.
Right, like, keep going.
I'm trying to kill people in the dark.
I swear. Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing here? But Goodbye to a World does remind me of Stranger Things, and because of that TikTok, it also happens to remind me of the video game Among Us.
Yeah. See, we're getting better at this because at one point we wouldn't be able to have connected how we have gotten to those tangents, but like they make complete rational sense.
And see, like, I'm okay with these conversations branching off into more than just music. Let's talk about anything these songs remind us of. so like that conversation progressed very naturally.
You gotta create a feeling.
You've gotta create a feeling. I've said it since episode 1,
I
people.
swear, it's the mantra.
It is the mantra.
It's the mantra.
So, Goodbye to a World by Porter Robinson. You want to move on to your next one?
Sure.
Or your first one, I guess.
Sure thing.
We got Runnin' by 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
Oh, yeah. So I listened to this song for the first time sitting in a car outside of a dispensary in Illinois as my friend went in to purchase a quarter of weed for a 2-week quarantine, which we ended up coming back a week later for another eighth.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, cause so this is like the first like full song, right? And so like I just heard the intro and I was like, okay, I'm in. And then this, and I was like,
little background.
Metro Boomin and 21 Savage just
Undefeated.
do not fucking
Undefeated.
miss. Like I don't know what it is.
I mean, they are two who are one.
Yeah, and like we even knew from when they released the cover of this album that it wasn't going to be bad.
Yeah, it just had that. It had it.
It had it, and like
it created the feeling. It created the savage mode feeling.
It did, literally. But it was also like a almost dated sort of feel. Like it felt like some mid 2000s stuff, and like it
reminded me of a Diplomats cover. I don't know if you remember the Diplomats,
I remember the Diplomats.
It reminded me of one of those, just like thrown together in some sort of Photoshop system, but like by someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, right. It seems like 21 Savage is kind of delving into the past. You see his birthday party?
I did not.
I didn't, like, I don't know, like, I just saw, like, photos of 21 Savage's birthday party, and everybody's, like, dressed up in, like, 70s, like, disco get-ups.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. It was really weird. Two things were particularly astonishing. How many famous people he was able to get there in photos
21
together.
Savage is no small cat these days.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Especially when he drops an album like Savage Mode 2, getting narrated by who? Fucking Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman. They said, we got Morgan Freeman.
If you can
Not on the album, narrating the album.
If you can get Morgan Freeman, you can get anybody.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty true.
Think about people showing up to this fucking party.
21 Savage in 2014, who were they?
I don't know. I wouldn't have known.
No one did.
Now.
And now 2020, they got God on their album.
They got God on their album, bro.
Man, it's crazy.
Talking about how it doesn't matter if you're from a savage land or a booming metropolis. They are two who are one, bro. You got Morgan Freeman saying that shit about you and your boy? Yeah. That's pretty pimp. I don't care.
Yeah. You got him giving textbook definitions of snitches and rats. One of the hardest interludes I've ever heard.
That will come up here in a little bit.
One of the hardest interludes I've ever heard.
I also want to know how many times on this album 21 Savage said pussy.
He said that quite a bit. He was not afraid of.
We're probably just going to naturally move into the next song.
Okay.
We got a little Morgan Freeman outro at the end of this song.
Oh, really? I didn't.
At the end of Runnin', he says,
oh, shit, yeah.
Are things better or worse the second time around? Can we really do anything better the second time around?
It's nicely vague.
My next one is Coffee by Biba Doobie.
Shit. Did you send this to me?
I did.
Okay.
This shit is such
I've heard
a vibe. I've been watching a TV show called Love Life on HBO Max, and I've been in a rom-com mood lately, which has in turn made me much more romantic lately.
Go ahead.
I mean, that's where this conversation's going. Yeah. So, this song gives me those vibes where it's like, man, we're getting to fall.
We're getting to fall.
We're getting to cuffing season.
Fall.
We're getting to this point where I'm kind of like, oh shit, I miss having a girlfriend.
It's weird too because at the same time
I don't want a girlfriend.
I don't want a girl.
I do not want a girlfriend, but every time I listen to a song, or I watch a romantic comedy, or I look outside and it's raining a little bit, I'm like, fuck, I want to cuddle somebody, you know?
I swear.
I just want to hold someone, bro. Like, damn, G. Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm also not making an effort. You know?
Right.
I'm not like actively seeking anybody out. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't get anybody. It's like I'm not really looking.
Yeah, you're just like I'm just kind of existing.
But this song brings me to that place where I'm like, fuck, I would love to love somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is one of those songs where you, like when that eventually does happen, you know, you'll turn the song and be like, you know, this is nice.
Yeah, this is. I'm content.
I'm content.
That's what this song is. It is peace.
That's what coffee is. Contentment.
That is what coffee is.
Like, think about it. You people don't start their day until they have their coffee. They can't be content with being awake until they have their coffee.
And that's like, yeah, you know, you're my coffee. You know, I'm addicted to you. Not you, but like in general, love.
Do we need what was the
two podcasters? Are they gonna kiss? Going into the next song, we've got yours.
Which one? Oh,
Modus by Joji.
Joji album. Like literally, like we were just like in the car, you know, one night, just sitting, and yeah, this like I realized the Joji album came out, and I was just like,
I'm in.
Y'all want to
roll up and listen to Joji?
Yeah. And that's what we did, and it was very enjoyable because like this album is like, as you can tell, just very spacey. He really embraces like
synthy,
this like free
spacey
form R&B. Like
Joji's got a vibe about him, man.
Oh yeah,
it's just
yeah. And he comes in, and then you realize, wait, I'm listening to like a song I could hear at the club. Like,
yeah, and you're like, that's not where I thought that was headed. It sounded like it was going to be a sad ballad.
Yeah, right. And the next thing you know, he comes in. And I'm just like, his ability to like sort of like bring in this bouncy presence into R&B while at the same time being able to nail like the super depressive R&B too. And
then, man, because he nails super depressive R&B, bro.
God, he nails it.
Like, I'm talking stuff that makes me never want to love again.
Oh, yeah. But then, even on the underside, this song kind of encapsulates that, too. Like,
a little bit,
is a very yearning sort of song, like, where you're just like, I can imagine myself being very drunk on a deck somewhere in the middle of the night, singing my lungs out to this song.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just one of those.
I like those songs.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Those, I lump those in with songs that are... not exactly, but they also remind me of songs that I can like listen to with the windows down at sunset on like the perfect day.
Yeah.
Like it's like, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs driving my fucking car, you know? I get the same vibe there.
Yeah,
and
I could definitely see that. No. And Joji just in general, I feel like he's starting to like get more popular over the past like 6 months. He definitely has, I feel like.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But like, he's one of those people who are getting popular, and I'm like, they might be legit. Like, I don't think that they'll like really like
burn
fall
out
off or anything anytime soon. Like, they're going to continue making pretty good music.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that like whenever you do have a talented singer, they're often not making bad music. It's just that you eventually sometimes you lose interest.
Yeah.
But there are certain artists who have such good voices and make such a certain type of music that you don't get tired of, you know. And I think Joji makes that sort of thing. You just don't get tired of.
Oh yeah, for sure. He does for me. When I first really got into Joji, now granted I was doing a lot of drugs, but I was like, you know, I'm okay just listening to this exclusively. Like this is like, I know I'm not sad at all, but this is the vibe. This is the vibe.
This is the vibe.
Like around
this is the feeling being created.
Like, yeah. That's just how it went, and I don't regret it one bit.
Yeah, that's the modus.
Glad I got into Joji.
3, 2, 1. on to the next one. We've got Snitches and Rats Interlude.
There you go.
By Morgan Freeman. I had to, because this is my favorite song on the album.
This counts as your whole song?
Yeah. A regular citizen who reports seeing a crime isn't a snitch or a rat. The criminals were just sloppy. Snitches and rats are not the same thing. Let me break it down to make sure y'all see what I mean. And then the beat drops in. And I'm like, oh. Oh. A snitch is someone minding other folks' business to find information they can sell for a price or trade for some other form of compensation. A rat is a traitor. And then there's another change in tone. Mm-hmm. A conceiver, planner, or physical participator. He doesn't sell secrets for power or cash. He betrays the trust of his team or his family, hoping to save his own cowardly ass. The difference is, at least a snitch is human. But a rat is a fucking rat.
God. Just
period.
Just the best line. And like, in general, like, how textbook these definitions are, I was like, he's got a theory. They've really formulated street theories.
Savage theory. Yeah, savage mode theory.
Savage mode theory, yeah.
It's because that's really what he was. He was trying to preach like a philosophy throughout the entire narration of that album.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh.
Just interesting.
Look into that.
I'll have to listen to it more intently, I guess. Yeah. Shall we move on to your next song?
Let's do it.
We've got Bound by the Ponderosa Twins +1.
Yes.
And this is a classic.
I just didn't know that two great songs came from this song.
At least. I don't know how many other times this has been sampled.
Yeah, that's a fact. But
Bound 2.
I was like, I heard this and I was like, this is the only reason why I even like Bound 2 by Kanye.
Yeah.
Fuck that actual song. Like, I remember when I heard the song the first time and like,
I was like,
listen to what he's saying.
Holy fuck. This is terrible.
Yeah. Like this is
that was the first time I looked at a Kanye West song and went, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What's he even doing?
What is he doing? Yeah. What the fuck?
Because I remember it also came with the music video and you're just like, oh, God, what are you doing,
you're like,
man?
Yo, that's your wife. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
What's going on?
And
be respectful.
Like years later, I come back to that song once I'm less sensitive to like blatantly explicit language, for lack of a better term. And I'm like, Bound 2 is pretty good. I like it but it was because of the beat, because of the production, because of the sampling, and like. Now I can just listen to the actual. I don't know why it never occurred to me that obviously he didn't make that sound, but like,
well, that's what's interesting is you don't actively think about the samples often. No. At least I don't. I hear parts of the beat and I go, "Wow, that's a beautiful part of this beat," and like, there are tons more samples than you are aware of. Like, it's all over the place. What's the other song?
So the other song is it's Tyler's song, on,
Boy Is a Gun.
Boy Is a Gun.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what is the other song? I couldn't remember. I thought for some reason I was thinking it was a Kendrick one, but A Boy Is a Gun is the correct one. And a better song than Bound 2, frankly.
Yeah, no, it is. That is straight up the best song that was recorded on this sample, as far as I know. Because, like, Tyler is just much more, like, Kanye kind of took the high point of this, like, you know, this like bound to fall. And Tyler was like, I don't really need like the highlight. This is besides the point. Yeah, this is besides the point that he couldn't really take that at that point anyway because Bound 2 had already been out.
Already existed.
Yeah. But he just takes like a much more complex part of the song, and he's like, this is going to be the foundation for this whole track. Which also,
you hear this right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what that's the basis of A Boy Is a Gun.
Yeah. And like literally like it makes a lot of sense too because Kanye and Tyler are known to have worked well together in the studio and are friends and stuff. He's
kind of a disciple of Kanye and his in terms of influence. Like Kanye is clearly influenced Tyler,
I wouldn't be surprised if no, okay, that would never happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler has a similar arc to Kanye, and like as much as people like have started to like love and revere him, like he does something that causes people to be like, oh,
because that is just Tyler.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of like Tyler does what the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
but he's also generally a respectful person.
Right. No, he definitely is. I'm saying like maybe like actually I don't know. Well, Kanye doesn't really do drugs either. Yeah, I don't know. Kanye is such a weird case.
Just a strange cat.
He's worth some studying. Like,
yeah, I mean, just an interesting case there.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
like, man, because there's never been a more, I don't know, not polarizing, but like just odd cat in music in terms of nobody really knows what that man's about.
No,
I don't think.
No.
And we never will. Like, I don't think we will ever really know what Kanye West is like. And I think, like, we're seeing a little bit of it, but I mean, like, I also have trust issues when it comes to celebrities and, like, the faces they put on.
Right.
Like,
as one should.
I don't know what's real and what's not. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're pushing for publicity and stuff like that, which I hate to question when it comes to, like, matters of mental health and stuff. It makes me feel really cynical, and I don't like that. But sadly, that is worth questioning.
Right. Well, it's not even. I would be more interested in what pushed Kanye to such like mental health extremes, because clearly they're like I don't think for a second he's lying about being bipolar or anything.
Oh no, not at all.
But that's not where he started when he first started making music. As far as it seemed, like when he was first becoming a public persona, there was like something about having become Kanye West that like caused this man to like.
Well, that's the thing is that like it's fame is the worst drug. Like,
yeah.
It's, and obviously I don't know shit about it. I'm not famous.
Thinking about when he was when he did his like rally or whatever, and he was like, "Harriet Tubman and free the slaves," and everybody's like, "Ah."
Like it was like, yeah, Kanye, Harriet Tubman didn't free the. Oh.
You're like, people are like,
all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Why are you making it? Because the ultimate point that he was making probably might have been slightly valid.
See, that's the thing too, is that Kanye has been always astonishingly bad at making his points.
Yeah.
Like,
that's literally it.
He will say things and you're like, you're on a track here.
Yeah.
But you need to communicate this better.
Yeah, right. Like, there is no point in bringing Harriet Tubman into this. We know slavery didn't end. It's a very dominant part of academic research in terms of racial literature, is the idea that slavery has not ended. You don't need to say Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. Like, that does not prove your point in the slightest.
It's just, Jesus fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's a difficult case.
It's a difficult case.
Shall we move on?
We shall.
That was Bound by the Ponderosa Twins +1. We didn't talk about it much, but it is a good song. Next, we've got my song. I've got Landslide by Oh Wonder, and obviously, we've heard this sampled as well by Lil Uzi Vert on P2, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Was it P2? Or am I tripping?
Yeah. Right?
No, it's hard sometimes, but you'll get over it. We'll have another life to live.
I kind of had a suspicion that Lil Uzi Vert didn't write these lines when I first heard it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really, like, good. Like, and there's not often that I think that about songs, but, like, I was like, Lil Uzi Vert ain't write this.
Well, it's just not his... It's not his thing. Like, that's not what he writes about.
But it is, though. Like, it like when he says it, it sounds great. Like,
it sounds perfect.
It sounds perfect. It sounds with natural. His style, with the way that, like, times that he, like, especially, like, in the context of, what's that? What, you know the song?
All My Friends Are Dead?
Yep.
What's that one called? It had some weird name.
EXO Tour Life.
There
EXO
you go.
Tour Life,
I was like, it had some name that didn't apply at all to what the song was.
Yeah, it didn't. I remember that confused me, and it took me a while to realize that, like, they're like, he
released it while he was on tour with the Weeknd.
And I was like, EXO Tour Life. That's kind of dope. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, and like when you listen to it with that context, you're like, oh.
Yeah, right. And that song, and like, you made that while you were on tour with the Weeknd? Like, bro, go on more tours with the Weeknd.
Yeah, like,
like hell,
that's one of the best songs you've ever made.
Straight, like, go on tour with like fucking, like, I don't know, like Daniel Caesar or some shit. Also, by the way, do we ever, like, whatever happened with Daniel Caesar? Like, I just know people like were like, he's like not okay, and then people stopped listening to him.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't remember exactly.
I think he said he liked white women.
Yeah, he said something colorist. I remember that. I remember that much. He said something that was like, man, like, you gotta be...
Yeah.
You gotta be a little bit more sensitive to, like, the things you say, man.
But also, he's not American, I guess, but he knows he has American fans. I don't know. That obviously was stupid to say, but, like, yeah. I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that like
I don't know if that's enough.
Has he been putting out music?
I don't think so, honestly. Not since that would have happened before his last album, Case Study, right?
Yeah, I guess, because I didn't know he dropped a fucking album. So
well,
that goes to show.
That was the one that I played for you that time, and then you didn't know that song. And you were like, "Oh shit,
this goes."
But like, that album's good.
Album's good.
That
See, like,
damn
and that's
good.
This opens up that conversation of the artist versus the art sort of thing.
Right.
And it's like, where do you draw the line in terms of the artist versus the art? Is someone saying that they're into white women enough for you to go, I'm completely abandoning your music?
Yeah. I mean, for some people, maybe.
I mean, I haven't listened to Daniel Caesar since,
But
and
you
I
also
don't know
gotta
if it's
think,
subconscious.
I
just haven't.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet a big portion of his fan base is also made up of black women. So
yeah,
that's probably something to take into context.
Yeah, I mean,
but like, me, black male, matters a lot less.
Wild that this got to Daniel Caesar.
Yep.
But Landslide by Oh Wonder is a wonderful
song.
Oh
Wonder is a good.
That's the it's the song that just played. I don't think I ever actually introduced it as a song. Next one we've got Tavarus's Always Forever by Colts.
Yeah. This one reminds me a lot of I don't know, it's just kind of this puts into perspective, like, I don't know, just like a certain type of music that I like. This feels like one of those like formulaic sort of songs. This
reminds me of a song that would have played in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
It's like, and I love songs that would play in How I Met Your Mother.
I remember
because they're similar to that song Coffee that I was talking about earlier. They're the ones that make me feel a little romantic, everything feels a little warmer.
It causes the show to pick up pace like that. Like you're automatically like, there are stakes. Like this is not just a sitcom.
They were so good at picking music. Like I can vividly remember scenes and the music behind them when I hear these songs now because the songs were that impactful. Yeah. Like there's a song called What Would I Do Without You by Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors or something like that. And absolutely gorgeous song. And the context it was playing in was Marshall and Lily were giving Ted some advice on, like, you'll know if you're in love. Yeah. Like, I look around this bar and I see nothing but Lily. Yeah. And then it shows an angle from his view and, like, everything's blacked out except her face. And, like, in the background is, What Would I Do Without You? By Drew Holcomb and the Neighborhood. And, like, and that just, it hit me. Yeah. Because that felt important, because of the music choice. Yeah. And that's so valuable in a show. Yeah, no, it is. Like, that's like something that's not very often, like, that it sticks with you like that you remember exactly. And there are several instances. I just wanted to music. I could throw out more, but I'll just do that one. I do really like the song. I don't know that I've ever heard it. Yeah, I think I found it on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I found it on TikTok. TikTok is one of the few places where I'm starting to grow more and more comfortable taking songs from there. I am too. Like, I really am. And it's like, I was at first, I was one of those people who was like, why on earth would I listen to songs that have popped off on TikTok? I was, at first I was like, why on earth would I ever get a TikTok? Same. But granted, that was at the time when mostly kids had TikTok, like little kids, like middle school age kids. Yeah, like all I knew of TikTok was what my 10-year-old brother was telling me about TikTok. So I didn't take any interest. Exactly. But then I got on it for myself, and I was like, oh shit! The fact that all of the shit is curated, especially for you, like, it really is the For You page. Yeah. Like, I'm scrolling through shit, and I'm like, there's so much stuff. Everything is making me laugh. Yeah, yeah. That doesn't happen when I'm on social media sites. I'm like, this shit was curated for me. They figured out how to do it. And I noticed that they'll, like, I won't even follow. Data mining will do that, but... Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Data mining basically is like, because I'll look at pages and stuff and then just start seeing their shit and won't even follow them. And I'm like, I kind of enjoy the fact that they keep showing me their shit. Yeah, me too. I get like a combination of the same like 10 people on my TikTok, right? And with other ones, obviously, but like there is a core group of people that I'm like always on my For You page. But yeah, I do really like the song "Always Forever" by Colts. Yeah, it's got that vibe that it would like play during a montage in How I Met Your Mother of some sort. Yeah. I like that last note it's leaving on too. I just like that a lot. And next, we've got a song by Ezra Furman called "God Lifts Up the Lowly."
This from that Sex Education album?
It is not. It's from one of his other albums called Transangelic Exodus.
Jesus.
Fucking pimp name,
Damn.
by the way.
He's like, we're going for it all on this album.
Yeah, it's he's just got this voice that I cannot get enough of.
Oh yeah, he's very soulful.
And because of the show Sex Education, I love that show too, by the way. So I always think of that whenever I hear his voice. And I remember when I was watching that show, there was a character in it named Maeve who is just phenomenal. One of my favorite television characters in any show. And they definitely established a theme for her in terms of like music when she showed up on the screen. It was like, we want you to know this is the person you are supposed to fall in love with. So like they played the most pretty songs by Ezra Furman, and like it's just like, this makes me happy.
Yeah, this makes me happy. You're like, all of a sudden I'm okay.
Yeah. And it's a solid song. It's just I could have picked any song by Ezra Furman, to be honest. I like all his shit, but I just picked one that I've been listening to more and more lately called "God Lifts Up the Lowly."
And what's weird is how little like rap we've come to listen to. I used to listen to a lot of rap.
I used to listen to nothing but rap.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like
you just got to spice it up.
You do, and it's like obviously I fucking love rap. I'm not obviously. It's just that like I'm at a point in my relationship with rap where I'm comfortable knowing I love rap and not listening to it.
Right. And I still have plenty of knowledge on it. You turn on any like pretty much any like major song from the past 10 years, and I will know it. Yeah.
I mean,
20.
Yeah. 25, 30. Yeah. Even. Like, it's like going back to 1990. I'm probably pretty solid on my music knowledge.
Literally. Like, I know.
In terms of rap, but before that, there wasn't much rap music.
What I'm noticing is a lot of, particularly, and this is just, because we live where we live, but, like, white people, like, very easily, like, consolidate their idea of liking rap, like, thinking that they like rap into like this one or two albums that they like by Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole
or Travis Scott. Travis Scott is the biggest one.
Yeah. Travis Scott is huge because like they'll be like, oh, I love rap, and then they'll constantly ask me about the same one artist, and I'm just like, you like this artist, you don't like hip hop music. Like, I can tell you that right now because I'll get on the aux and throw some.
I will show you
like
some
Ice
Benny
Cube
the Butcher, bro.
Like, yeah,
and you tell me how you feel about that.
Yeah, I like how you said Benny the Butcher and I said Ice Cube, which are pretty much two of the same people from different generations.
Yeah, they really are. Like on Benny the Butcher's new album, he says like, "I'm one of the few rappers who would have made it in the days of Pac." Like, yo. He's crazy. Benny the Butcher is hard, and you should listen to his latest album, frankly. But that was "God Lifts Up the Lowly" by Ezra Furman.
Damn.
Your next song is "Briefcase" by Currency.
Yeah, I found this song.
Bro, Currency. I haven't heard that name in a minute.
I've been listening to a lot of Currency, honestly, since summer, probably. Like,
well, I remember when him and Wiz dropped.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I can't remember, what was that album called? Do you remember? 2009 or something like that?
Currency has like 13 albums.
Yeah, he's got a lot out there.
No, but this song just feels like a fucking movie. Like, you just, the like, I don't know, the horns in the back, like, are just like fucking, like, I'm just cruising through the fucking city. Like, there's
that.
No other thing I'm doing listening to this song. Like,
I know I've brought like every single one of these back to a television show somehow, but that's just because like these things are reminding me of things, Did you ever watch Insecure on HBO?
Oh.
With Issa Rae?
No, I never watched it.
This is definitely a song that
really?
They might have put this in Insecure. I don't know. But it's just it has that vibe about it. Like there's these transitions they do in that show, at least in season 1 when I watched, where they're giving you views of the city and they're giving you views of the streets, like cars driving by and shit. And I can totally imagine this playing in one of those transitions, Or like in Euphoria, how there was always like a random song that came on during the title screen Euphoria?
Yeah.
I could see this coming on during one of those.
I could definitely see this song coming on there. And like Currency just has he's one of those people who knows exactly what the fuck his sound is, and he just goes like he just replicates it over and over and over and over, and you never get tired of it because like each like I don't know, especially with like soul music, like or not, I wouldn't even say soul, like I wouldn't consider like his instrumentals, they're soul influence but not necessarily derived from soul music itself, but like they're just very I don't know how to explain, like how would you explain a Currency beat?
Man, that's a good question because they are the same kind.
They're scenic.
There's a brassy type of vibe, but it's not brass. It's not brass. It's not horns or anything like that. It's just that like there's. Oh, there is horns, but I mean, like it's not
in
like
this song, but not in all of them.
I don't know how to describe it. Kind of brash a little bit, like they're really in your fucking face.
Well, that, but also really chill. Because like I like Currency. You turn on Currency. I think to turn on Currency when I'm driving, smoking, or just chilling.
The thing for Currency with me is that like his flow is what grounds it.
Yeah, right.
His beats are always what makes me go like, oh damn, you know, like because like you said, he always sounds pretty similar. Yeah. So he's always grounding this sort of vibey, calm sort of feeling to it, and then the beat is always something that'll either get me like, oh shit, okay,
oh yeah,
or like sometimes you do get the occasional just like pure vibe, but like this, I'd say this is more of the vibe than all up in your fucking face.
Yeah,
I like it a lot though. That's Briefcase by Currency. My next one is from the Hamilton musical. Okay, it's called Your Obedient Servant by Leslie Odom Jr. and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh shit!
And this shit's it's hard. It's catchy as fuck. The talent displayed in this musical is just unfucking believable. I absolutely love it, and the historical context of this song is also pretty interesting. Like the actual historical context, in that like this is Aaron Burr proposing the duel to Alexander Hamilton that would eventually kill him.
Oh, wow.
That would kill Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, Dear Alexander, I am slow to anger, but I toe the line. But I toe the line as I reckon with the effects of your life on mine. He looks back on where he's failed, and every place he's checked, there's nothing but Alexander Hamilton's disrespect. Now, Alexander calls him immoral, a dangerous disgrace. But if he had something to say, he'd need to name a time and a place, face to face.
That is the most Lin-Manuel Miranda like rhyming that.
Oh, dude, heard. that polysyllabus. Polysyllable.
Polysyllabulous.
But like he does a lot of internal rhymes within the.
Oh yeah. And but his rhymes are always like pretty.
List of 30 years of disagreements.
He like grounds like the progression of his flow in like this conversational tone that like lets him. It's almost as if it's that conversational tone that lets him know it's flowing.
Yes, I get that, and I love all the. I like a lot of the verses in this musical because of the way Lin-Manuel Miranda writes, and because it is in the context of a musical. Yeah, it makes it better. I'm not a huge fan of the Hamilton mixtape in general.
Really,
it's all right, but like on "Wrote My Way Out." I think Lin-Manuel Miranda absolutely fucking kills that.
Oh yeah,
where this Puerto Rican's brains a leak and through the speakers and if he can, you know, like that's Lin-Manuel Miranda right there, and that's like a lot of the music in this. Yeah, in this,
it's like the episode from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes, exactly. Where he's, I love that. No. That's where I first saw Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was in How I Met Your Mother. I forgot about that. All right, on to the next song. We got "I Own Rap Beef" by Drakeo the Ruler.
All right, beef. And Earl Sweatshirt.
Earl Sweatshirt. I mean,
yeah, like,
it's Earl Sweatshirt, bro.
I just love how raw and uncut it sounds.
And it's bouncy as fuck. It's like,
but you got 03 Greedo in here too, so you know it had to be bouncy.
Hey, wait. Oh, that's just so, and this is so Earl Sweatshirt, bro.
I swear. Right, like he always does this thing with like how he flows that doesn't feel like completely normal, but makes total sense. Like,
he does this, he does this thing right outside the beat.
Yes.
That's like,
yeah.
He's right on the edge of it. He's like not quite rhythmic, but like he finds his own pocket.
There's rhythm there.
He has his own pocket in the beat that he has found.
Yeah. No, it's a kind of incredible thing. Like you got to be really damn good as an artist to be able to do that.
And I'm going to tie this back to Hamilton for a second. I get a lot of that in that musical too. And like that, it reminds me of that sort of writing. Obviously, Earl Sweatshirt is a different type of rapper than anything you'll find in Hamilton, but
much more complex.
I'd say in terms of writing content.
Like honestly, I probably understand 30 to 40% of Earl bars. Like, straight up. Like, and I know the other 60% means something.
I don't know what it is, though.
It's just so encoded in his own language. And, like, I've watched interviews where, like, because his mom is, like, a UCLA professor, and they did a talk, and he was there, and, like, someone asked, they asked, like, basically whether or not he intentionally encodes his language. And he goes, like, that's kind of just, like, a natural result. Like, I just speak some shit. Like, I'm just out here trying to tell a story, but I'll tell it in my own language, right? And, like, my language is naturally encoded because black people's language is just naturally encoded.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's, like, I think that's honestly a big thing that turns white people off to hip-hop music is because they just don't understand it.
And Earl Sweatshirt specifically.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
I am hard-pressed to find anyone besides you who likes Earl Sweatshirt. And I hate it.
Really?
I hate it. I love Earl Sweatshirt, and I can't play Earl Sweatshirt around anybody else.
Yeah.
Without them fucking flaming me.
I started just doing it. I started just being like...
Oh, and I'll do it. I don't mind getting flamed. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just like,
you just
damn.
You know it's coming.
It's like, man, y'all can't appreciate this?
Yeah, right.
The
like,
fuck?
Bro, like, do you hear what he's doing? Like, this is different. This is something that has not been done.
This is something you have not heard.
Yes, right. Like,
You want to talk about you liking hip-hop? You've seen those TikToks where that dude's like, I know you're talking about getting the bag, but I look at you, you're clearly not getting the bag.
Yeah.
You're telling me you like hip-hop. You like hip-hop. You don't like Earl Sweatshirt. Okay, sure. But why do you not like Earl Sweatshirt? You know?
Yeah. No, and they probably couldn't give you a reason.
They couldn't.
Like, the fact that he can do the type of music he does and get on a song with Drakeo the Ruler and 03 Greedo on a beat like that and still hold his weight.
And do his thing. He didn't adjust to that beat.
Yeah, he didn't. He really didn't. He still did what Earl
He didn't do what 03 Greedo would do on that beat.
No, not at all.
He did what he would do on that beat.
Because fucking Earl Sweatshirt.
Next up, we've got my song, Welcome Home, Son, by Radical Face. And you have heard this song. Almost certainly at this point. Because that drop, I don't know, it feels like any time you've ever looked at a sunset.
Okay. Is this like from a movie or something?
I'm sure it's been in a movie. I'm sure it's been in a show. I'm sure it's been all over TikTok. It's just like it's that song that builds up to that like you'll hear in a second.
Okay.
But it's just a beautiful vibe of a song.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I need to run through a meadow.
A meadow. A peaceful meadow.
I need to walk to the edge of a mountain and overlook the grasslands of Ireland.
This sounds like the time that I slept in a meadow.
That's what it like, and it's beautiful. It's just it reminds me of when I went mountain climbing in Colorado.
Really?
Like when we got to the. You've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a triumph. I don't. It feels like I've done something.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I get it. Have I even told you about when I slept in a meadow?
Mm-mm.
I was on a silence retreat with this Bible study group that I was in high school.
Shit.
Flight training. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We went out into the woods in Kansas basically, and for 8 hours had to be silent and walk around the woods on our own. And so for a portion of that, because we got there like hella late and we had to be up hella early, and I was just tired, and they're like, you can take a nap if you want to. And so I laid down in the middle of this meadow in the middle of the day. It was really beautiful, and just took a nap. But when I wake up, like I'm just laying on my back, I just like sit up.
God, that would be the shit. I can imagine it just.
A doe gallops right across the meadow. As soon as I sit up, just galloping
God, I can
just
see
going.
it in my head. I can see the movie scene in my head. The opening of the eyes into the sky, the little bit of a blink, and you sit up and you see just the grass. You see the little the white puffy things that if you blow on them, they just float away, and then you see a doe.
The doe
running
was close.
straight along.
It was like 5 feet from me because I hadn't been moving. Obviously, I've been sleeping, so it probably was moving. And I'm assuming,
what if that shit had just stomped on you?
Oh my god! Is that fucking human alive? Let me see.
Show you to hit us with your car again.
And nobody would have heard me because I was way out in the middle. I didn't even know. Like it was still like you knew Carlos Velasquez.
Oh yeah,
he was on that trip too, and he had a wild story about how he like ran and like found this house and got a ride back and. It was crazy. Some shit he was not supposed to have been doing. Because like he like interacted with people and he was like, I got lost and I went to this community. It was a whole bunch of shit. And it was like that I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but like that trip and just like doing that, like this song just feels
embodies like that feeling.
Like it sounds like
it feels like nature.
Yeah.
It feels like I am feeling the breeze on my skin as I read a nice book in the grass, In
the grass.
Sitting down, crisscross applesauce, maybe laying down, I don't know. But generally, that's the vibe this song gives me. Yeah. Shall we go on to the next one?
I believe.
This is the last one.
Ooh, this is a good last one.
We've got Stalling by... _by.Alexander.
Yeah, you can't read. I don't know why.
By Alexander.
Of course, and I can't even tell people about this dude because, like, it's by Alexander.
Dude, but I do like this album.
By period Alexander all caps. And wait, is there a triple O before his name too?
No, that's I think you're getting there's a whole bunch of weird shit on the song titles in this album.
Oh yeah, underscore capital BY dot
Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander all caps. And the album name is Seto Channel Black.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I love the album.
He like really like I love honestly what I'm coming around to was a song that has very little music in it. I think it's Bloom in Paris with Charles Bukowski.
Yes.
I looked up Charles Bukowski and everything, and I'm gonna like literally like I'm studying the exact type of shit that is relevant to studying Charles Bukowski, and like I'm gonna like really get into him because like just like hearing him talk there, I was like have you listened to it?
I'll have to revisit it.
It's dope because he was like a poet and a fiction writer and a like philosopher almost, and like that's kind of what he was giving, and that was like
that vibes.
Yeah, but it was like philosophy of love, which is a real thing, by the way, like a very real academic thing, which I always thought would be kind of cool to get into, but not until I'm like 40 or 50 and have nothing else to do in my life, probably.
Yeah,
because. For what other reason do I need to be reading the philosophy of love? Like I'm just gonna be.
Besides being bored as fuck.
All that's gonna lead to is me going on dates. Like, well, according to this,
according to the philosophy of love,
the way that we can capture love in this relationship is if I listen intently to what you say and start to recognize your being as being that other than myself, and only.
And believe it or not, I got all this from a book.
They're going to be like...
I read things. You into that? You into that sort of thing?
Yeah. Everyone would hate me. Everyone that I would be interested in would hate me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. This is a great album, though. And it's just the jazz all over it. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
My favorite song on it is still Trumpets. Featuring
Trumpets is it's
070
it's still
Shake.
My favorite song too. Like it's definitely the best one on there. Like,
it's beautiful.
And
bro.
the first song too. Like there's a video for the very first song with
I
think I might have showed you part of it.
Les Merveilleux Aimés.
It has a Gary Busey like in it.
Oh, in the video?
Yeah. Have you not?
No shit. You have not sent that to me. You have not sent. I was wondering why Busey is on the cover of this album.
Yeah, and I think he only did this one music video for it. And
it's just interesting that Gary Busey got involved at all.
Yeah, it is. Like Gary Busey.
Busey. Where the fuck did this guy come from in terms of jazz music?
Jazz music. But like the music video kind of helped me put this album into a lot better perspective because there's some symbols in it, and there's not much, but there are a few symbols that give you sort of insight into like this sort of aesthetic that he's offering with his music or trying to offer with his music, because it's like very, I don't know, it's like neo jazz. It's weird.
Yeah, it's not what you've heard.
No, it's not. And it's super, like, because my first listening to it, I think it stuck out to me because it sounded like a fusion of jazz and neo soul, like R&B sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like stuff from like in the vein of like Bryson Tiller, Black, all day.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
And he took that and was like, let's throw some jazz with it.
No, let's get
like,
some real ass jazz.
Real ass jazz, and like be very intentional about like this is jazz music, but it has these pop elements.
God, I've been listening to I listened to Leslie Odom Jr.'s album, Leslie Odom Jr. Just fucking beautiful jazz all over that, and he's just got an angelic voice. And like I said, he was also in Hamilton. Man, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of good separate little conversations. I liked that formatting. I think we might actually have to do that more often.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
I don't think we need to do another segment.
No, definitely not.
This is an hour and 26 minutes of an episode.
An hour and 26? Oh, for the episode.
For the whole
segment's been like an hour, though,
right? I'd guess somewhere on that. But, yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't, we strongly recommend you watch On the Rocks. Check out all the songs we just recommended because they're all fucking awesome. And, I've been Colton Robertson. That's been Tavarus Pennington.
Yep.
This has been the Penny Bloom Podcast. Remember, peace, love, and bloom.
Yeah.
And always praise Keanu Reeves.
Always.